Hi and welcome to Autismatic. Autism research is in crisis. For 80 years, non-autistic researchers have been persistently missing the point and following each other down similar paths to inevitably hit the same dead ends. Autistic people are still treated as second-class citizens. Damaging therapies and dangerous chemicals are still being sold as treatments. And parents of newly diagnosed children are still routinely subjected to a barrage of scare stories about their children's future. In recent years, some of the language around autism research has changed. Direct references to cures have been sidelined in favour of understanding the causes of autism. Talk of quality of life has crept in, and efforts have been made to include more girls and women in their samples. But that's just window dressing. The same people and organisations who were researching cures only a few years ago now expect us to believe that they've seen the light and no longer want to eliminate or fix us. Scientists who built careers on harmful, discredited theories still hold their positions at the top of their field, and we still see published papers claiming that the behaviour of microscopic hermaphroditic worms with no more than a few hundred neurons can reveal the complexities of human thought and feelings in our brains of 86 billion. Rarely a day goes by that I don't stumble across another article, interview or academic paper that at best just doesn't get it or at worst has potential to cause widespread real-world harm. It feels like for every step we make forward in terms of scientific understanding of autism, we take several steps back. Let alone the constant rehashing of the same ideas and the willingness of the media to keep repeating nonsense that was disproved years ago to fill airtime and column inches. Being autistic in our current world isn't an easy ride, and there's a distinct lack of understanding about who we are and how we fit into society. But how can we improve that state of affairs if we stop researching autism? Am I not actually going against my own interests in calling for autism research to be stopped? Well, I wouldn't suggest it if I didn't have an alternative in mind. We should abandon autism research in favour of autistic research. The biggest mistake our scientific and academic establishments have made in this field is in researching autism from the outside rather than autistic lives from within. We investigate common traits of the autistic mind not as aspects of personality, but as symptoms. We pathologise behaviours instead of looking at the pain or confusion behind the behaviours. In hundreds of laboratories around the world, scientists genetically modify mice and microscopic worms to mimic one or more of these symptoms, and then publish their observations as if they revealed some fundamental truth of the autistic brain, whilst ignoring answers that are in plain sight. There's no shortage of autistic scientists and scholars. The clarity of the scientific method and the pure pursuit of knowledge are like a shining beacon to many autistic minds, attracting us to the dusty halls of academia and the rigorous structure of laboratory conditions. It's a sad indictment of those disciplines that most autistic doctors, professors and students still hide their autistic nature from their colleagues out of fear of the consequences. The first step in doing good, valuable autistic research is to give those people the respect they deserve and put them in charge of any and all autistic research programs. It's a simple idea that makes sense to even the most scientifically illiterate observer. If an autistic and a non-autistic expert have equal qualification, which of those experts would you imagine would have a better understanding of autistic people? Which one would be more likely to be trusted by other autistic people? Put it into a simpler context. Who would you rather performed your surgery? Someone who had performed that surgery 1,000 times before, perhaps? Or would you think that someone who'd watched someone else do it 1,000 times but never actually got their hands dirty would be a better choice? In amongst the masses of irrelevant and harmful research, there are little nuggets of truth and good sense, and these almost always come from autistic researchers, often working against the odds on tiny budgets with minimal support from the institutions they work for. Whilst there's no shortage of public, private and charity money being pumped into genetic research and animal testing which threatens our very existence, the desire to understand autistic life from an autistic perspective has always been at the bottom of research priorities when it should be right at the top. If the scientific establishment actually listened to what autistic experts said, then perhaps more autistic people would be willing to come forward and participate in their studies. If we knew the research was conducted by people who had our best interests at heart because they shared those interests, then we'd have reason to trust in its intent and have faith in the results. We could have confidence that their motivation would be to improve the lives of autistic people and help the neurotypical world understand us for who we really are, instead of the demons, incomplete people or antisocial troublemakers we're painted as today. So I say stop autism research and plough all that money and interest into autistic research. All those non-autistic experts who've held sway since the 1940s, take a step back and let better qualified people, autistic people, to take the reins and save you from wasting even more of your time and public money chasing down theories that lead to nowhere. You still have a place. Nobody wants to waste your experience, but we need to make sure you're on a path that will make the world better and acknowledges the diversity of the human mind, free of the prejudices of belief in the harmful concept of normal thoughts and feelings. Autistic research would be led by autistic people and seek to understand the differences between the autistic and non-autistic mind. It would treat co-occurring conditions like intellectual disability, apraxia and epilepsy as separate paths of inquiry for individual attention rather than as aspects of autism. It would be free of judgment about what may be good or bad, better or worse, normal or abnormal. It would recognise that it takes many types of mind to make our world function, and that the limited capacity of the human brain makes neurodivergence and specialisation inevitable and essential to human progress and evolution. If humanity could make that leap and place our trust in autistic people to be the experts in ourselves, if we could silence the financial interests, the politicians looking for an easy soundbite or photo opportunity, and the self-serving martyr parents who refuse to accept that their child isn't a carbon copy of themselves, I guarantee you we'd know more about what it means to be autistic in 5 years than we've learned in the last century. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to leave a comment, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us to grow and reach more people with quality content about the true experience of being autistic. You can help even more by becoming a patron on Patreon or by picking up some exclusive Autistic merch.